All right, welcome back to another episode of Your Relationship Sucks! Exclamation point. Very excited. We have two things going on today. Number one, it's a wedding Wednesday, so people are asking dumb wedding questions. Who knows what's going on? But more exciting news, our first guest ever, my oldest brother, he's here. He's married, so he might actually have some real practical advice that instead of just us saying stuff that we don't know anything about, there might be something coming on. So he's here to help us out. Again, check the socials. We got, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. Follow, spread the word, all that, please. Also on the podcast, you can find us everywhere. Please rate, review, subscribe, all that stuff. Tell other people, all those things. But I'm excited about it. Let's get into it today. Initial impressions. Hit me with it. What do you got?
It is a 29-year-old female, new husband, 30-year-old male, does not want to accept a large cash wedding gift from my brother, a 33-year-old male.
Yeah.
All right. So, as you are new, this is initial impressions. So that's all you get, and just hit me. But you're the guest, so we're gonna let you go first.
All right.
Just what's your first take on that?
So this is, let me get it right in my head. So this is the new husband doesn't want to accept money from her brother, so it'd be his brother-in-law.
Yeah, his new brother-in-law.
Okay.
And it's just like a large cash money gift.
Right. Well, let's be completely frank with that, because along with any large cash gift is going to come with massive expectations later on down the line. Something's going to come up, or situations are going to arise where, hey, don't you remember that cash gift when I really helped you guys out, bought the new house, whatever you did? I can actually speak with a little bit of experience here. I may or may not have a brother-in-law who is very uppity about the money that he has as well. And so things tend to come, you usually don't find somebody who just in the goodness of their heart is like, I would love to just hand you $33,000 and no strings attached. You go have a great life and send me a Christmas card every now and again, because that shit just doesn't happen. So my initial impression would be, yeah, I get it. The guy's like, so now it's, kind of like a mafia situation. I'm going to owe this guy a favor, 10, 15 years down the road, or it might even be a month from now. Who the hell knows? I might be asked to smuggle some marijuana for him into a different state because he's got I don't know. Anyway, there's strings attached. I promise you there's strings attached. Completely understand where he's at. So what do you got?
You could not be more wrong. Number one.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
You're going to get used to hearing that a lot, by the way.
Yep.
You're probably already used to it. I shouldn't even tell you that.
Yep.
Like, look, let the guy make it rain. You know what I mean? Get him a money gun and just let him, just as you're walking down the aisle, pull the trigger and just shower you with Benjamins all day, all the way down. Take the money and then block him on social media.
Oh,
that's it. Take his money.
That sounds like a reason to get married. If someone's just it's just people throwing money at me, that sounds like a delightful event.
It's basically just a big bar mitzvah. I mean,
the ambiance that adds to the ceremony is ridiculous. I mean, that's outstanding right there.
Look, that's what I'm saying.
I will credit you that. That would be phenomenal at the wedding. Phenomenal. But yeah, you're crazy, brother. You're crazy. There's strings attached, my man. Social media is not going to work. He's going to be at your house. He's going to be, hey.
He's going to be at your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, he already moved in because he paid his rent. So
take some of that cash, build yourself a moat. You know what I mean? Like you're literally building the wall with his money. You know what I mean? Like that's what's happening.
How much money do you think the brother is giving them for it to be a moat? To be able, like, what in your mind? What do you guys? I mean, for like a
nice moat. I mean, you get like a discount moat for probably a couple grand to be my guess, But that's like, I mean, that's like you can't even get like a crocodile in there or anything, If you want like a nice moat, I got to assume a nice moat is 75, 80 grand, something like that. Minimum. I mean, depending on the size of the house.
and it's going around the whole house, right? We're not talking just some
Oh, yeah.
crap moat that's just in the front. Like it's
No.
encircling the entire house.
No, this is basic, like the moat I'm envisioning. I mean, I assume that this guy says a large cash gift. I assume it's like $1 billion. So it's basically
easy assumption.
It's basically a lazy river with booby traps is kind of what I'm envisioning around his home. That's what I assume he would do. And it's not even all the money. That's not going to cost you $1 billion, you know? So you got easily $500 million to then spend, you know, and the guy can't get to you. That's what I'm saying, you know, but we got to think next level, you know?
I think that is next level for sure. But I'm not sure if the guy's just handing out $1 billion that he can't just come right back at you with like, you know, he's going to put sharks in the moat to attack your booby traps. And then he just might helicopter in and just like totally Navy SEAL it into your place. And next thing you know, you got like 6 or 8 guys on your roof. The moat is, you know, moot at this point. But anyway, you got to, I just think if some, you know, guy is just swinging around $1 billion and like, you know, do your thing, I think you got to realize that he's probably off some people before. And he's probably got a couple guys that would do it for significantly less than $1 billion. So I don't know that the moat's going to do it, but I like where your head's at. I think it would be fun, especially if it was lazy river style, because then, you know, there's perks in it for you. But
I get it. I'm with you. I'll go back. Look,
do you take your crocodiles out to experience the lazy river, or do you just like leave them in and every time
it's your pet crocodiles?
It's
right?
just an exela.
Like they're your pet crocodile. So they're not going to attack you.
Oh, okay.
They'll attack you.
So
train the crocodile.
Part of that budget is training a crocodile.
Yeah, that's how it works. You know, that's the thing. Either that or look, we just go a biodome situation.
I don't know. I've never looked into it. I don't have as much background on this.
You know. It's fine.
What I understand is training crocodiles is super easy, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So
as far as I gather it, people do it in Florida all the time. Yeah. I've seen them wrestle them. It seems playful, so you know, whatever. But
I've seen quite a few headlines of people dying in Florida from petting them too. So
look, that's a real Debbie Downer way to look at things. You know what I mean? Like that's just a real.
You're right.
It's a real negative. It's a real negative spin on the story, you know. That's all that is.
Bringing it down to reality is just real negative.
First of all, we're talking about $1 billion gift at a wedding, so how reality is this? Second of all, I mean, I think it's just sensational news. I don't think every time you pet a crocodile you get your hand bitten off. I think the media just likes to jump on the 2-year-old that gets drug into the moat at Disneyland.
Totally agree.
Newspapers, baby.
Totally agree. That's, you know, 50-60% tops are getting dragged to the bottom of the Everglades. That's worst case scenario. You know what I mean?
Worst case.
That's worst case.
What's best case?
I don't know. Probably more than 0 would be my guess. Yeah. More than 0.
Like 5%.
So
5%.
All right. So
I'm gonna
what's the actual question that this guy's asking?
There's a lot of information for this one, so I'm a little didn't know you could have wasn't expecting that of this one, but I'm very recently married. We eloped and had no family or friends at the wedding. Regardless, my brother generously sent us a $5,000 check, which more than enough pays for our elopement and gives us some money to put away. Me and my brother are close, although we live far away. He is well off, and I am his only sibling. My husband has 4 siblings, and he isn't close with any of them, so he can't fathom it. It's not an issue for me. I honestly expected my brother would give us something. The issue is that my husband wants me to return it, saying it's too much and that we aren't struggling financially. It is true, but we aren't rich, and I don't feel as financially secure as he does. $5,000 is hard to turn down. I feel like my husband is being unreasonable and prideful. I feel like depositing the check, but obviously wouldn't behind his back or he would be angry. His reasons for refusing the money is, it is too much. Does he think I'm poor? I don't know who he is. How do I reason with him? I feel like his pride and bad relationship with his own siblings is clouding his own judgment. He has never met my brother because he lives in a different country. I feel like it should be enough that this is my brother. Of course, he would send me this much. it might be cultural differences as as my husband is American and I am not. Husband also has no problem accepting money from our parents, $1,000 each. He is adamant about not accepting this money. I'm confused and unsure how to proceed.
I mean, I'm confused and unsure. What, like, did you? This is some high level stuff here. She wrote a novel asking for advice about $5,000. So I think there's probably a lot of other things going on here that she's, pouring her heart out. Anyway, but here's the thing: which would you rather him do? Would you rather him give you $5,000 in cash that you can go do whatever you want with, or would you rather him buy you $5,000 worth of crystal stemware or silver that you're never ever going to use, and just then but you're good with that, right? You're good with the gift, but you're not good with the money. Plus, I feel like I don't know. She says we're not rich, but $5,000 is pretty hard to turn down. I feel like that's a pretty wide margin there. We're not rich, but $5,000 would be helpful. That's, most people who say, well, we're not rich. I mean, I get it. If somebody walks up to me on the street and says, here's $5,000, I'm going to be like, yep, cool. Thank you. $5,000. Good looking out, man. But I'm picturing that they're not as well off as she's trying to make it seem. I don't know. I get the prideful thing maybe too, but the other part I thought that was weird, and I'm sorry, I just jumped in my head, I'm throwing it out there. My husband is American. I am not, period. Leaves it at that. But she mentions cultural differences. What's the cultural difference? There's a lot of people that aren't American. Where are you from? So anyway.
Yeah, Canada's going to have a pretty similar culture to America, whereas, Dubai is not. So I thought about that too. And it is, in other cultures, it is more common to give large sums of money. Like, it would be rude not to. But I thought it was going to be like a minimum of $10,000 when I heard a large sum of money. And, for me, $100 would be a nice sum that I'd keep. So I was a little surprised it was only $5,000 as well. That caught my eye.
That ties right back into we're not rich, but large sum of money, $5,000. Again, I'm not going to turn that down from anybody. Anybody wants to give me $5,000, yeah. I would not consider that. We can't even get the water for the moat with $5,000. So, anyway, Bo, what do you got?
Look, first of all, I'm not entirely clear that these are American dollars.
It did say 5,000 USD. I just left it out.
Okay, because if they were like, here's some renminbi, I'd be like, pass. You know what I mean? Like,
here's hey, we got your 5,000 pesos.
Like, what's up? Ever heard of lira? And I'd be like, I don't even know where you spend that. You know what I mean? So, like, I would turn that down just out of principle. Secondly, you hit the nail on the head. You now have experience. We threw you right in. This is your first one. We threw you right in. And you have figured out basically what we figured out from day one, which is when people ask questions, they're really bad at just asking questions. Like, they don't tell you anything. They're like, hey, what should I do? ? And that was it. Like, that was all you got. Like, there wasn't even like, what do I do about this? Or what? It's just, hey, what's up? And that's all you get. And you're like, oh, was there more to that? And they're like, no, that was it. Like, no, well, I mean, it's personal, so I don't want to share too much. You're like, well, all right, but you can share something, might be useful. If you shared anything at all, might help us out, right? So you're 100% right, where she's like, hey, we're not rich, whatever. Look, if you need $5,000, or if you're not making a ton of money, like, I get it. But if somebody says to you, $5,000 is a lot of money, my very first thought is you grew up on like one bowl of rice a day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's what you were doing, because that's what you would know, right? So, I mean, if you grew up in like a billionaire's family and somebody was like, hey, here's $5,000, you'd be like, it's not a thing. Like, it wouldn't compute to you, right? So you wouldn't, again, you might not turn it down, but it wouldn't cause strife between the two of you, No.
Somebody might look at it as an insult. Really, $5,000?
Right. Absolutely.
That's fantastic, buddy. Thanks.
Anyway. You're like, all right, cool. That's, we spent 7 on your plate, but whatever. Like, don't worry
Right.
about it, But they're eloping.
Right.
People elope for a lot of reasons, but one of the major ones is cost, just pure cost.
Yep.
Like, it's because it costs a lot of money to throw a wedding, or it can cost a lot of money, obviously. So
this
is
was 60
definitely
days ago, so I think COVID probably had a part of it, but
well, it could have, absolutely.
Have no friends and like a pure elopement. It sounds like a true elopement. A lot of people have been calling elopements like small planned weddings where they only have like 20 people there, and I'm like, that's not really eloping if you plan it and it's a whole weekend. That's still not eloping. So this sounds like
eloping meant like leaving in the middle of the night in a car, take a couple of pieces of clothing, and nobody ever hears from you until you come back and you're like, yay, check it out. So
yeah, no, it's called, it's a shotgun wedding, right? Like, anybody who's like, hey, we eloped and we only had 7 people there, you don't understand English, like you just fundamentally don't understand the definition of the word.
And well, never mind. Sorry, continue.
But here's the biggest problem that I have with this whole thing, and I think we're missing it. Okay. Here, I think we missed it. I've enjoyed, and I think we're right, but I think we're missing what's really happening here. Okay. This guy is just stealing money from this person's parents, right? Just like, whatever, $1,000, awesome. How many more can you give me? Let's keep rolling it on, Papa. Like, let's keep going. And then the brother's like, hey, I'm going to give you 5 times that amount. And they're like, pass. What that says to me is 2 things. Number 1, nobody likes the brother. Number 2, he's trying to bribe his way back in. That's what's happening here. The husband hates the brother, and the brother's trying to buy his way back into the life. And my guess is the brother has been shunned, whether in reality or, just kind of tacitly under, just like, hey, oh, missed you on that Facebook invite. You know what I mean? Like one of those things. Like, oh, I just accidentally deleted you out of the family group chat. Like, oh, messed up. That is something like that, because there's no reason, if you're already accepting money from other people, there's no reason that you wouldn't just keep. That's not such a big amount of money. Like, if somebody honestly said to you, like, here's $1 million, right? Like, I'm just going to give you $1 million. And it wasn't like a Brewster's Millions thing, where they're like, oh, well, you had a rich uncle who died or whatever, and you didn't know, or what. They were just like, no, I just don't want this $1 million. Here you go. Right. You'd be like, you'd probably be like, okay, but you would feel a little weird about it, Yeah. But $5,000 isn't that much money from that standpoint, right? So if this person is being offered that, you're not offended by that. I'm going to guess that you're offended by the person who is offering you the money. I think the brother's out. I think the brother's on the skids. He's trying to buy his way back in. I think that's it.
You know what? And I think if we're talking, she says she's not American and she just leaves it at that, we could be dealing with a North Korean situation here, where, the brother literally has a price on his head. And, he may be trying to buy off the price with the $5,000 that he's scraped together after living, under a rock, literally living under a rock in a forest somewhere for about 3 years. And I get it. You don't want that guy at your wedding. Understand that completely. But here's the other thing that I'm thinking of. Oh, by the way, I got to give you the shout out for the Brewster's Millions reference. Fantastic shout out to the Brewster's Millions. But anyway, yeah, I could kind of see that. But why though, then, are they good with having her parents give the $1,000? Why, because they said both parents, right? They're getting money from both parents.
Both parents gave about $1,000.
Oh no, I think the brother has offended the husband somehow. I don't know what he did. He like kicked his dog, or he did something.
It doesn't sound like he knows the brother. Do you think he's just offended that the brother is not trying to get to know him?
I think he definitely knows.
Money, because I think he knows
the brother.
A more ideal situation if you don't have to talk to your brother-in-law and you just get $5,000 checks.
I think he knows the brother too well. I think that's what's going on here. He's like, look, this dude does some shady stuff, or something's wrong. Something's up with the brother. Honestly, I think you're 100% right. I think he's working for the North Korean government. He's like, hey, Kim Jong-un or Il or whichever one, you're not coming over here and, shooting a rocket launcher at me. You know, like
Yeah.
that guy does crazy. That guy, like, you know, he shot a rocket launcher at like his uncle or something like
Yeah.
that. Like, he's like, what, bro? That's not worth $5,000. You know,
No.
like, up it up. You know, let's talk 10, 15 maybe, but not for 5. You know, I'm not risking that. I don't know. That's what I think. I think that the brother is out. As far as this lady's question, here's the thing. This lady's question is, what should I do? I
Actually,
think
it
you
was,
gotta stop talking to your brother.
how do
Honestly.
I reason with my husband?
Oh, you don't.
So that's
You
the
don't.
question.
The question is, how do I reason with him? I feel like his pride and bad relationship with his siblings is clouding his judgment.
Oh, well, first of all, if you're going to reason with them to take the money, don't tell them that you know you're already rich. That's a bad argument. So
Right.
leave that part out. You know, go the other way and say, hey, we're super poor. We should take this 5,000 so we can survive. I think that's what you have to do. I don't think.
I think either that or you take the $5,000 and you throw it into, you know, like a DraftKings, you know, gambling website that he doesn't need to know about, and you just leave it in there and then like slowly, you know, like pull a couple hundy out every now and again or something like that. But so his bad relationships with his brothers and sisters, something else that strikes me though, something else there strikes me, that there's some type of money pride issue that happened already in his family. And maybe, I mean, and I think maybe she's trying to, you know, make it puppy dogs and rainbows with their financial situation. And I think maybe he's probably like,
he's the one who's saying that they're fine, and she's the one who's saying that they could use the money. So he's the one who's saying that, yeah.
That's what I mean. So I think he's,
okay.
I don't know how he's clouded himself into thinking that they have money.
Okay, sorry.
But I'm thinking that he might be like low man on the totem pole in the family. Like all of his siblings have got these great jobs and are doing these great things, or maybe won the lottery, or I don't know, maybe he's in the Kardashian family. I have no idea. But I think
he's
it
Rob.
kind of sounds like he might be Rob, or there's like maybe one we haven't heard of named Chuck or something like that. Or, you know, there might be a Charles, likes to go by Chaz. Anyway,
Yep.
I think there's another part of that I think needs to be explored a little. How does she reason with him? Well, he hates his brothers and sisters, apparently. So how are you going to reason with this? Why are you marrying this guy initially is where I'm coming all the way back to, when we're going to potentially end our marriage over $5,000 from my brother who you don't even know. So I think there's something else there with his family that she specifically points out. Well, he doesn't get along with his brothers and sisters, so I think it's his pride. I don't know. Something weird in there.
I totally agree.
I mean, if he doesn't want the money, why can't she accept it and put it into a separate bank account?
Oh, I like it. Live a double life. I'm with you. How should she reason? Don't reason.
I mean,
just start doing shady stuff behind the other person's back. I totally agree with that.
I guarantee
that's what I would have done.
I guarantee if she does that, she invests it, and then 5-10 years down the line, when she's like, we have this like little nest egg when you were too prideful 5 years ago. Will you take $5,000 now? Because I got like 50.
Oh wow. Yeah, because we know that
that's
the
really
history...
great investment strategy.
I was gonna say, I need to. Is that like Bitcoin? Is that what? I mean, good Lord. Or is that just straight Colombian cocaine money right there? Because turning 5 into 50 in 5 years, that's magic.
Yeah,
that's
aggressive.
Yeah.
Very aggressive.
Yeah, that's a shocking return on investment. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just the per year return consecutively is incredible on that. And we all know that people who do shady stuff with money are always making responsible choices with that money. Exactly. So I think that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. I think you should definitely invest that money, whatever. Honestly, I agree with you. Like, it seems like they don't have great communication. They probably shouldn't be married. Like, can we, let's unelope. I don't know how you do that, but like, let's figure that part out.
It's called an annulment, I believe.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's do that thing. And let's stop this. But don't tell the brother and take the money, and then you can start over. And then you can start over. I mean, because you're already advocating, you know, like let's be shady with it, which I agree with. But let's be shady with it solo. Let's not have that wet blanket be dragging you down. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
don't go into life with that guy just dragging you down.
My favorite line was the only reason she won't deposit the check behind his back is because he would be angry at her. So, and like, you know, like she's not even willing to have like an uncomfortable conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like she's not willing to let her husband be mad at her about something. And I get that it's kind of a big deal. I mean, but it's not like you're buying a house. It's just like you're depositing money in your bank account, which you can then take money out of your bank account after it's deposited. Like it's not a final
At most,
thing.
at most banks, most banks allow you. Most banks
Okay,
allow
I've
you
only
to spend your
experienced
own
banks
money.
that
There
were
are a few
very
that don't let you spend your own money. Yes.
Sure. There's some that, you know, you just got to be careful. I just a tip, you know, like, look, we don't want to be out here giving bad financial advice, telling people, you know, just go trust the banking system, you know, like
Telling
debit
people that we
cards and
can
credit
turn
cards.
$5,000 into
you should invest
50,000
all
in
of that
5
into
years.
silver.
Invested in silver. Let's buy precious
Yeah,
metals.
that's the thing.
You know,
Let's get into copper, nickel.
if you
Let's do it.
if you can get your hands on some adamantium, that would be
Mm.
fantastic as well.
Yep.
I think, you know, there's probably a pretty good use of that from the U.S. military. I think you know,
For
so
sure.
you build a business. You know, let's take that $5,000. Let's build a business here, and like I said, let's drop the dead weight. Let's get rid of him. 100%. Don't get married to this person.
How old did she? Didn't she say the age?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 29, he's 30, and the brother is 33. I just feel like he's just very insecure. The husband's just very insecure because someone around his age has $5,000 to throw around and he doesn't. And so, but if he took the money, he could have $5,000 to throw around. So he's solving his problem if you just take the fucking money.
Right. I agree with you, but I think the insecurity. I think that's the easy way out. There's something else there. There's something else and the fact that she said he's going to be angry. Not upset, not questionable, not like why angry. Like she used angry. So he's gonna lose his damn mind. And so I don't know. Like I said, I feel like it'd be interesting now, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but it'd be interesting now to find out what culture she does come from, because it definitely is kind of bordering on like a second-class citizen type of situation, which I think is ridiculous. Yeah. And I don't know. Anyway, like I said, don't want to get too deep there, but I feel like, yeah, I don't know that this relationship is going to work. I can't put $5,000 in my bank account without my husband losing his mind on me. I mean, does he think I'm I got a side hustle where I'm running drugs, or where I don't know, maybe I'm stripping, maybe I'm stripping. That's how you turn $5,000 into $50,000 in 5 years real quick. So I feel like there's just a lack of trust, and I don't know that can be, I don't know that can be overcome. But either way, I take the money. That's my final. I take the money regardless.
Take the money. Let's steal as much money from this family as possible.
Yeah.
Let's definitely do that. I totally agree with everything you say. And by the way, that's coming from somebody who is married successfully for longer than 60 days.
Yeah.
Which, like, I'm just saying, like, may not have all the answers, but seems to be onto something. So that's not just coming from me. That's come from somebody who's actually been there, done those things. So I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think we
did
it.
What I'm hearing is that all of the other advice we gave about weddings is accurate and should be taken as if it were from someone's mouth who has been married. This is what I'm learning is because we know accurate information without having been married. So
that's right. That's right. So that is a full endorsement, sight unseen,
for everything
that we've ever said. That's a 100%
episodes.
That's a 100% U.S. gold-plated endorsement on every single word that we have ever said on this show by somebody who is married. So
I'm waiting for the book. Book.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. You know what I mean? Like that's what we're doing here. So that's it. I think we did it. I think hopefully we helped this lady out. Hopefully she already took the money. Hopefully she's already bankrolled it up, and we're just
hopefully she's already divorced. Honestly,
100%.
Hopefully she flew back to wherever she's from. Seriously, just left the country. See ya.
100%. Totally agree. So that's it. We will see everybody next time. We'll be back tomorrow with another question, helping out some more dumb people live less dumb lives. So until then, we will see everybody.